It feels like we're hearing about cyber attacks almost constantly these days. It's almost background noise sometimes.
It really does feel that way.
But the ones that really uh, grab my attention, zero-day attacks. There's just something about them. That unknown threat factor. It's inherently scary.
Absolutely. I mean, the name itself kind of gives it away, doesn't it? 0 day.
Right.
It happens when hackers, well, find a weakness, a flaw in software that the developers themselves don't even know about yet.
So 0 days.
Yeah.
Literally 0 days of warning.
Exactly. No time for a heads up, let alone a fix, a patch.
Which is why everyone listening should probably lean in a bit here. I mean, think about it. Your normal antivirus.
Yep.
It wouldn't even recognize this thing.
Nope, because it's totally new.
And there's no security update, no patch ready to go. It's a completely unknown vulnerability.
That's being actively used or exploited as soon as it's found, often.
Yeah. And the damage.
Oh, it can be really significant. We're talking attackers getting into sensitive data, maybe spying on what you do online, or even shutting down critical systems entirely.
And because they're hitting these unknown spots.
They're incredibly hard to spot and stop, at least initially. Yeah.
And look, this isn't just a big tech company problem.
Not at all.
If you're sending emails, running a small business, even just scrolling social media, if that software has a hidden flaw, you could be affected.
That's right. It impacts everyone. Maybe a concrete example would help. Let's talk about Palo Alto networks.
Ah, yes, I remember hearing about that. What happened there?
Well, earlier this year, actually twice April, and then again in November 2024, they found some really critical 0-day vulnerabilities in their firewall systems.
Okay, firewalls. Those are the digital security guards for a network, essentially, protecting the perimeter.
That's a good way to put it. And these flaws, they were extremely serious.
Oh, so.
They basically allowed attackers to remotely gain full administrative control over these Palo Alto firewall devices.
Full control.
Full control. And here's the really alarming part. They could do it without needing any login details. No username, no password.
Wow. Okay, that's like finding an invisible key.
Exactly.
Like you've got this high-tech building security, guards, cameras, the works, but someone finds a key that makes them invisible, lets them walk right past the front desk, straight into the security control room.
And take over the whole system. Yeah.
Without anyone even noticing they're inside.
It's a very good analogy. And sadly, these weren't just theoretical weaknesses sitting there.
They were actually being used.
They were actively being exploited, yes.
Sure.
Affecting potentially thousands of organizations all over the world.
Thousands. That's huge scale. So, okay, the attacker has this invisible key. They're controlling the firewall. What can they actually do then? What's the impact?
Well, they essentially hold the keys to the kingdom, network-wise. They could monitor all the traffic going in and out.
Intercepting sensitive info, maybe?
Potentially, yes. Or they could change the firewall's own rules. Weaken the defenses, maybe open up back doors for other attacks deeper inside the network. Sometimes a compromised firewall like that could even be used as a launch pad to attack other places.
Right, so it becomes a jumping off point. That really paints a concerning picture.
It does.
Now, shifting gears slightly, but related, we also heard about some pretty significant cyber incidents in Taiwan recently. Maybe not strictly 0-day, but still relevant.
Oh, absolutely. They really highlight the broader threat landscape and what happens when defenses fail, whether it's a 0-day or not. Take the Crazy Hunter malware campaign in 2024.
Crazy Hunter, what was that about?
That targeted Taiwanese businesses, mainly using phishing emails.
Phishing. Okay, so those tricky emails trying to get you to click something bad or give up info.
Exactly that, pretending to be someone trustworthy. In this Crazy Hunter campaign, the emails had malicious attachments or links.
Standard playbook, unfortunately.
Pretty standard, yeah. If someone clicked, malware got installed. And this specific malware was nasty, designed to steal sensitive files, log keystrokes.
Recording passwords, confidential stuff.
Exactly. It's a common way attackers get that initial foothold, that unauthorized access.
And then there was that hospital attack. Mackay Memorial Hospital in Taipei, February 2025. That sounds awful.
It was very serious. That one was ransomware.
Ransomware, okay. Encrypting files and demanding payment.
Precisely. The attackers managed to lock up data on over 500 computers across the hospital. We're talking emergency rooms, outpatient services, critical systems.
Wow, and the attacker.
Use the alias Crazy Hunter, again, seems connected to the earlier malware campaign. They demanded a ransom to unlock the files.
Did the hospital pay? I feel like I remember they didn't.
They refused to pay, yes. Which is often the recommended course, but it had consequences.
What happened then? A breach.
A massive breach. Because the ransom wasn't paid, the attackers leaked a huge amount of data online. Reports suggested potentially 16.6 million patient records.
16.6 million. That's staggering.
Yeah.
Just incredible exposure of private information.
It really is. And like you said, even if it wasn't confirmed as a zero-day attack, it shows what happens when someone gets unauthorized access, whether it's through a brand new flaw, like in the Palo Alto case, or maybe an older, unpatched vulnerability.
Or maybe even tricking someone through phishing.
Right. The end result can be operational chaos, especially in critical places like hospitals and massive data compromise.
It really drives home that point.
Yeah.
And didn't we hear about others too? Other Taiwanese companies hit?
Yes, the reports mentioned Johnson Health Tech, they faced an attempted data theft. Kuyang Construction got hit by ransomware, disrupting their operations, and Edimax had data breaches, potentially affecting users globally.
So it's clear, reputable companies, big infrastructure, everyone's a target.
Absolutely everyone. And maybe it helps to quickly run through the general life cycle of these attacks, how they typically work.
Yeah, good idea. Break it down.
Okay, so first, the attackers find a weakness, a vulnerability. For 0 days, it's one nobody else knows about.
Step 1, find the secret door.
Pretty much. Step 2, exploit it quickly. Before a patch comes out, once they're in, they might install malware, steal data quietly.
They could be lurking for a while.
Oh yeah, sometimes days, weeks even, gathering info, planning their next move. Sometimes they even sell that initial access on the dark web to other criminals.
Like a marketplace for break-ins. Grim.
It is.
So, okay, that's the threat. It's complex, it's scary. What can people, individuals, organizations, what can we actually do to fight back to prevent this?
It can seem daunting, especially with 0 days, but there are definitely crucial preventative steps. Number 1, and this is huge, keep your software updated.
Diligently. Like, don't ignore those update notifications.
Exactly. Install the latest patches. These fix the known vulnerabilities that attackers love to use. Think of it like constantly reinforcing your digital walls.
That makes sense. Locking the known weak spots.
Strong, unique passwords for everything. And enable two-factor authentication, 2FA, wherever you can.
That extra layer, even if they get the password.
That second step can stop them cold. It's a really effective measure.
Good habits. And we keep hearing this, but it's clearly vital. Be super careful with emails and links, right?
Absolutely critical. If an email looks suspicious, if you don't know the sender, don't click links, don't download attachments. Phishing is still such a common entry point.
Just delete it. Better safe than sorry.
Definitely. And backups. Regularly back up your important data, store it securely, maybe offline.
Ah, the ransomware defense.
Exactly. If the worst happens and you get hit by ransomware, having a good backup means you can potentially restore your files without paying those criminals. It's your safety net.
A digital safety net. I like that.
And for businesses, organizations, it's about layered security. Good firewalls, yes. Up-to-date antivirus or endpoint protection to catch malware.
But also the human element.
Oh, massively. Employee training is key. Making sure everyone understands the risks, how to spot phishing, basic cyber hygiene. It can't just be the IT department's job.
Right. It's everyone's responsibility, a collective effort.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Okay, that's really practical advice. And, listening to all this, we've used quite a few specific terms. Maybe it's a good moment to quickly recap some of that key vocabulary. Might help folks listening get a better handle on it.
Good idea. Yeah, understanding the language definitely helps. So let's do a quick English practice corner moment, maybe.
Sounds good.
Okay, first up was vulnerability. We said that's a weakness in software, right? Something hackers can use to get in.
Like a crack in the digital wall.
Exactly. For example, the security audit found several critical vulnerabilities in their online system.
Got it. Then the fix.
That's the patch, a software update that fixes bugs or, crucially, security flaws. Like, you should install the latest security patch as soon as possible.
Okay, patch fixes the vulnerability. What about using the vulnerability?
That's to exploit it, taking advantage of that weakness. So you might say, hackers were able to exploit the flaw before a patch was ready.
Right. The action of taking advantage.
Then we mentioned the firewall. That's the security system controlling network traffic, acting like a gatekeeper. Example, a strong firewall is the first line of defense against network intrusions.
The digital bouncer.
Yeah, pretty much. And we talked a lot about phishing, that trick to steal your info by pretending to be trustworthy, like beware of phishing emails asking for your password.
Super common, unfortunately.
Very. If phishing works or a vulnerability is exploited, you might end up with a breach. That's unauthorized access to data or systems. Like the hospital example. The data breach exposed millions of patient records.
A word we hear way too often.
Sadly, yes. And finally, the general term for harmful software. Malware. Ransomware, viruses, spyware, they're all types of malware. Example, antiviral software helps protect against malware infections.
Okay, that's a great little toolkit of terms. Vulnerability, patch, exploit, firewall, phishing, breach, malware.
Yep. Knowing those really helps understand these cybersecurity discussions. Maybe listeners could try using one or two in a sentence this week, just to practice.
Great suggestion. Well, this has been really insightful, a proper deep dive into these cyber threats, especially those really sneaky zero-day attacks.
They are definitely something to be aware of. That element of surprise makes them particularly dangerous.
For sure. And we saw the potential impact, right, with Palo Alto networks, and even drawing parallels with this serious incidents in Taiwan, like Mackay Memorial and those crazy hunter campaigns.
Exactly. But the key takeaway, I think, isn't just fear. It's that understanding the threat and practicing good cyber hygiene, those steps we talked about, updates, passwords, caution, can genuinely make a big difference.
Absolutely. It empowers us a bit. So stay safe, stay smart.
And keep learning. Using real-world stories like these helps make sense of it all, and maybe improves your English along the way, too.
Definitely.